back to another episode of Pizza and the Bagels.
Pizza Bagels, man. I haven't heard that song in so long. I miss it.
I know. It's
such a good jam.
It has
Every
been.
time.
I know. It's been well, let's see. It's been a little over a week, huh?
Yeah.
Since we got to be together.
That's right. And I've missed you.
I know. I've missed you too as
Welcome
well. Welcome
back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tony was out of town.
Mm-hmm.
This lovely lady.
Mm-hmm.
And so question number one. Let's go with, before we get into the, Juana Fanta bullshit, is it Oregon or is it Oregon? Because you were just there.
So I've always said Oregon, but I wasn't around anybody that actually was saying Oregon or Oregon. It was always just the city that we were in, or cities.
That's a bummer. I was kind of hoping to get some answer to that shit.
I should have fucking asked somebody.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Like, what are your thoughts on the word pecan or pecan?
I say pecan.
For the nut.
For the nut.
For the nut.
For the nut.
For that nut.
Yeah, pecan.
Some of that spicy vindaloo nut. But what about for the pie?
Same thing. Pecan pie.
No.
Pecan pie?
Yeah, it's pecan pie. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, here's the deal. I don't eat pie.
Oh, my God.
Or cake or any of that.
No pie.
No.
None.
I think, honestly, the last time that I had, and I'm going to do finger quotes here, pie, is before the shutdown. Jess and I went and got dinner steaks over at Urban Farmers when Wildo was still there. And they brought us out a dessert. It was like a mason jar that had like a hot apple pie at the bottom with ice cream on top.
That sounds good.
I think that it was delicious, but that's the last time that I had pie. And before that, probably I was a child. I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, like, my mom makes pie all the fucking time. I'm not a huge fan either. And for me, there's only a couple of real pies out there. Like, pumpkin pie is absolute trash. 100% bullshit. So is cherry pie, by the way. And I know that's not popular because it's like the most popular pie of all time.
Yeah, I mean, there's even a song named after it. Or maybe that was named after the song. Who knows?
It's unknown. I mean, who the fuck does know? But yeah, I mean, if you're making a pie and the main ingredient always has to come out of a can, that's a bullshit pie.
Unless it's like, grandma made it.
Have you ever seen a grandma use a pumpkin to make a pie? No, because nobody's ever done that before. That's never been done. Have you ever seen anybody like, hey, I have these cherries. Wouldn't you enjoy a lovely pie? They're like, no, here are cherries. Eat these. And then I'm going to use this jar of shit from 1983, and we're going to have cherry pie.
But I bet there's plenty of grandmas and old housewives that use cherries for the cherry pie.
No
pumpkin pie I'll give you. Because that's probably, that jar or can shit is probably just a bunch of ingredients all mixed together and go, this kind of tastes like a pumpkin.
Right.
Yeah. Or maybe it doesn't, but they just dubbed it that. It's just been like that ever since.
I don't know. I think that like real cherries are something that people are like, oh, these are so good in their natural form. First of all, I don't even know how you would turn a regular cherry into cherry pie filling.
You muddle it.
No, because when you get cherry pie, it's always got like whole bulbous cherry balls in it.
Yeah, but
that syrupy shit.
Yeah, so you probably have to like muddle some in like the syrup and the corn syrup and what have yous and make a whole thing. And then when that's delicious, then you throw cherries in there as well.
Pies are dumb.
Yeah, that's why I don't eat them.
Pretty dumb.
Yeah.
You don't eat cake either?
No,
yeah,
I haven't had cake since I was like a child. I think it's all the frosting.
Yeah.
The fluff is fine because I've had muffins, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah. I'm not a big muffin guy either. No,
I don't even know when's the last time I had a muffin. I don't know when someone's like, hey, have this muffin.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when I was younger, my mom would make like, those little blue boxes of like the muffin mix that you would make?
Yeah.
I remember her making like blueberry ones and whatever else. And I think somewhere in my late teens, I'm sure I probably bought those giant fucking muffins from like Speedway.
Yeah, and you just eat the top and then you throw the rest in the garbage where it belongs.
They sell those tops by themselves.
I do. That was a whole Seinfeld episode. Do you remember that about muffin tops?
No, because I don't like that show.
There was all right. We'll talk. That's a whole nother episode. But there was a whole episode where one of the characters, I think it was Elaine, was talking about how the tops of the muffins were the best part, and then there was a bakery that listened to her and they started selling just the muffin tops, and she was really pissed. Proprietary, like it was her idea, But then it became Jerry's obsession. What do they do with the bottoms of the muffins? And it turned out that they were donating the bottoms of the muffins to like homeless shelters. And it seemed like a really nice thing to do. Like you're a philanthropist giving out the bottom of muffins, and then all these homeless people showed up at the bakery like, where the fuck are the tops of these goddamn muffins? Like, we're getting screwed into just muffin bottoms. This is horse shit.
These are free, but
free, and you're hungry.
Yeah.
But they're like, this is trash. Like, where's the goods? It's like if you were like, hey, we got you guys the bottom of pizza, but we scraped off the cheese and the sauce.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hungry and need that, but where's my cheese and my sauce?
Just barely.
Just enough to moisten it up.
Do you ever see people that fucking do that?
Scrape their pizza?
Oh, yeah.
I have, and I don't associate with them.
Oh,
You've got to be, like, you're murdering animals in your spare time.
I want nothing to do with those people.
Agreed.
I don't even care if it was my mother.
So good to see you.
Oh, yeah. Good to see you, too.
Love you, babe.
Listen, I don't care if it was even my own mother. It's already weird when people use knives and forks to eat their pizza. And I'm not talking about a Chicago style. That's supposed to be
not a pizza.
It's supposed to be eaten. It's too fucking big.
Yeah,
you can't pick that shit up.
It's a lasagna on a crust.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's horse shit.
But literally any other pizza locally, I've seen friends, like, you order like Papa John's or Domino's or whatever, they're knifing and forking it.
That's crazy.
Fucking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I mean, the whole idea of pizza is that it's portable.
Yeah.
That's like the whole idea.
Yes. So now, and you see people that fucking take the cheese off. My sister, one of my sisters, is someone that doesn't really like cheese. I wish my mom just...
Then just don't eat fucking pizza.
I know.
You just want sauce and bread? Get fucking breadsticks with a side of marinara.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
fucking the same thing. I mean, breadsticks with cheese is pizza without the sauce, right?
Yeah.
And you're just dunking in the sauce on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's fucking weirdo like that, and she'll pull some of the cheese off, not all of them. I'm like, you're fucking taking away the sauce. There's pepperonis and shit on there.
Sure.
It's
dumb.
Yeah.
There's this whole keto craze going on right now, and I understand it. I did a low carb diet a bunch of years ago. It totally works, by the way, if you can stick to it, which is almost impossible. But it absolutely works. But they sell keto, like Sheesh Thomas was posting on Facebook. Sheesh, and he was like, "You do check out these keto sandwiches." It was just cold cuts. It was just like cheese and meat and lettuce and tomato with mayonnaise. That's not a fucking keto sandwich. It's just
Italian.
It's just a fucking hoagie with no bread.
Yeah.
So stop calling it a keto recipe.
Yeah.
Like they sell those pizza bowls now. Have you seen that? It's just a Tupperware container of sauce, cheese, and pepperoni.
Oh yeah, actually I did.
Yeah. What the
Hungry
fuck?
Howie's has that.
Absolutely.
And I was like, you mean you're just having a bowl of sauce and cheese and pepperoni? That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Dumb.
That's not a pizza. You can't call that pizza in a bowl.
That's not keto pizza, you fucking assholes. That is just sauce and cheese and toppings. And you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. You know what I do wish there was, though?
No.
Remember the movie The Jerk?
I was just talking about that, yes.
Really?
Uh-huh.
The pizza in a cup?
Oh, yeah.
That's
brilliant.
You just get the pizza. And again, this kind of defeats the whole fucking thing because it's, again, you're having to use a fork, basically.
Right.
But in the movie, they just like slice it up into tiny little squares, and you just carrying around a little cup, which would be great, like at a fair
or on a Subway.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if you're gonna eat on a Subway like a fucking asshole.
So you're also you don't have to worry. Yeah, you're getting shooken around. You don't have to worry about like sauce or toppings falling out of your mouth in that bite, or you pull the whole fucking cheese off.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's always such a bummer when you pull all the toppings off the pizza.
It does suck. It does suck.
That's why pizza is one of the greatest foods, is because it's such a finicky bitch. Like, it has to be the right temperature. If the cheese, if the pizza's too hot, everything slides off. If it's too cold, it's all coagulated. Pizza is, you got to eat it at the right time and in the right place. But if you're eating with a fork and knife, you're fucking doing it wrong.
Unless it's in a cup.
That's
your only exception.
That's true. And then you should be eating it with a spork, because you probably recently got out of prison.
Yeah.
And that's why you're eating pizza out of a fucking cup like a psychopath.
Speaking of prison, I just saw something that and I don't know where it opened up, but apparently there's, I don't know if it's a full restaurant or like a food truck, but it's prisoners, and they're making the food that they made in prison. So like, they're
fun.
like literally like the supplies is buying like ramen noodles and like
tuna fish,
hot Cheetos and shit like that. Yeah, and they're like literally making these things that whatever on the menu items, I guess you want to call them.
Interesting.
They make them the exact same way as if they didn't have fucking stoves and what have you.
And people pay for this.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called Prisoner Pies, I think.
Okay.
Google that. Somebody Google it.
I would go, I guess.
I think it's called Prisoner Pies. I would definitely try
it. Go.
But, like, it also seems weird because it's like they, like, take, like, a pack of ramen, they open it up, dump a bunch of hot water in there, and for, like, a few minutes, and then they, like, crush up, like, hot Cheetos and, like, something else, and then they're all dumping all that, then putting the seasoning in there. And then by the time like it's all done, they open it up and it just looks like a flabby,
steamy
disgusting,
mush log.
a mush log. Yeah, a hot Cheeto mush log.
I mean, you need a little flavor. Have you ever eaten in jail before?
No.
Never?
No, anytime that I was ever in jail was just
like...
overnight or drunk tank or something like that. No, I never ate in there.
Anybody who has knows that the food's not great. I mean, typically what you get is like a bologna sandwich. The bread is always really wet, which is upsetting. And it's like one slice of bologna. And then you get a mustard packet. You get, what are those chips called? Fuck, Wildo's going to fucking murder me. No, it's
chips?
not. It's not. It's something else. I can't remember what they're called, but they're very indicative of prison. And then you get TKO Punch, a little half pint of TKO Punch, which is like fruit punch, but it says right on the container, it says 2% juice.
Yeah.
And that stuff you can either use to get sugar in your system or to stain concrete red. Those are the two purposes for that stuff.
It's not Hawaiian Punch, it's TKO.
TKO, yeah. It's awful. I remember, and you get that bag of chips, and I remember like trading my sandwich and my TKO Punch for extra chips and then trading my chips for cigarettes, even though I was leaving in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I just was like, I'll just be hungry for 3 hours and leave with 4 extra smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. Yeah, nope. Don't go to prison and don't eat in prison.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I would do that. I guess I would check out real prison food.
Well, I mean, if we were out of town and we passed a food truck,
sure.
I'd be like, fuck it. We got to try.
I'll pay $8 and try this.
I
thought you were going to talk about like Edwin's. Are you familiar with Edwin's?
Edwin's. Oh, yeah. The French place where
the fancy ass French place.
Yeah. Well, we've gone to dinner there. It's fucking delicious.
It's amazing. And all of the back of house, they're all ex-cons.
Yeah. And they actually, we talked to like one of the managers and...
Probably Brandon. Probably the guy that runs the place.
It might be. I don't remember.
Tall, skinny white guy with gray hair wearing a suit. Brandon Chustkowski.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said that it's like a class.
Yep.
Like several classes. Like it's almost like a mini college.
Yep.
And you go there and you learn to cook and so forth. And then once you basically... once you graduate, then they basically are like, we'll write all these recommendations for you to go work for... Michael, whatever the fuck his face is, downtown. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. You know, and then they can fucking move their way out. And it's great, man. That's such a cool idea.
It is. It's great for them because I imagine it's got to be almost impossible to find any type of a job other than working at like a convenience store, like gas station type of a place.
Back of house.
Or you can go back house at like a shitty place. But you're not going to come out of prison and be like, hey, I've been in the joint for 10 years. I'd like to cook at this French restaurant. And they're going to be like, bonjour. You know what I mean? It's not like they're going to open the doors to you. But that's exactly what Brandon does at Edwin's. He says, yeah, we'll take you in. We'll train you. And then you'll have a job at a real place. And you'll have this on your resume so you can go out and get real jobs after. And as a feather in his cap, he gets a credit for every person who's hiring coming from jail.
Mm-hmm.
You get an employee credit for hiring felons.
What does that do?
The government will subsidize you hiring people to rehabilitate them because people that come out of prison that can't find jobs immediately go back to prison.
Yeah.
The recidivism rate is immediately tied to people finding a way to make money legitimately, and if they can't, they make it illegitimately and go back to prison.
Right.
So Brandon's like, I will give these people purpose, I will give them money, they won't go back to jail, and the government's like, we'll pay you half of their salary to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's paying them like $18 an hour, and the government's like, we'll pay you 9 of that.
Yeah.
So he's paying them $9 an hour out of his pocket and getting people that can cook fucking pressed duck and duck l'orange.
Yeah,
and shit like that,
no, the food is fucking great.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
They're flambeing everything there.
Yeah.
They have a fucking gigantic cheese cart that's got like 30 different cheeses on there. Like, it was a really fucking neat place. Which I think is what? Is it like Tremont or Ohio? Not Ohio State.
No, I mean, Brandon's out of Tremont, but that restaurant was it University Circle? It was somewhere, not University. I don't know, it was somewhere around there.
Cleveland Heights.
Yeah, Cleveland Heights.
That feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just like right outside or just
right
Shaker
in there.
Or something. That Cleveland Heights area. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what was amazing in Oregon?
Oh yeah. Actually, I have a lot of like goofy shit to talk about. So we flew out on a Saturday, so it's all day traveling. We stayed and we landed in Portland, stayed at like a shitty hotel for the night, left in the morning, took like a bus, like 2.5 hours to bring us to a city called Corvallis, and this is where we're going out there because Jess's work,
Sure.
and it's basically a college town. It's what I would assume to be hanging out in Kent for like a week.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, it was there's not really much to do, I guess. I mean, there was a handful of bars, but fuck, everything is so expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, Jess and I went to a bar that we thought when we looked at it, we're like, oh, sweet, like this looks like kind of divey and shitty.
Yeah.
I ordered an Espolón, she ordered a Maker's. It was $19.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this
Oh
is
my
just
God.
like mine's
At a
just
dive
Espolón
bar.
and soda, and hers just like Maker's and Diet. $19. I'm like, what
That's
the
amazing.
fuck is this?
Yeah.
We went to another bar, and we're like, let's just grab some snacks. We'll have a couple drinks. We'll fuck off. And we're like, okay, cool. They have chicken tenders and crinkle fries.
Uh-huh.
Great little snack. Jess takes the first bite into a chicken tender. It's raw all the way across the inside. We're like, oh my God, this town is fucking
Trash.
yeah. But I did find, and speaking of pizza, I did find a dope ass place. I think it was called American Dream. I was up there. I got 2 slices of pizza and a beer for like $12.
That's amazing.
And they were like big, like New York slices.
Hell yeah.
That was fucking delicious. And what's funny is actually, so Sunday was the first day that we got to the other hotel in this college town.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, we were already traveling on the bus like all day and trying to like unpack and get in and get situated. That very first night, and it's 3 hours behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to basically be up working at 5 a.m.
Right.
So I was getting up at like 4:30, 4:45 every morning. That first night, and we're just exhausted from traveling, jet lag, etc. We're sleeping, and a fucking fire alarm goes off at like 1:30, 2 in the morning. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, dude. I'm like, I have to be up in like an hour or two, and we had to exit out the whole fucking hotel,
Of course.
everybody, and we were standing outside for a fucking half hour. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. This fucking sucks. But I mean, like again, like the rest of the week was, it was fine.
Yeah.
We did, and then so like that following weekend, like that Friday, we took the bus back, which is like 3 fucking hours to get back to Portland. And we're like, well, we're done with work. Let's hang out. Let's
Sure.
check out and see what Portland's all about. And we stayed downtown. And which, by the way, even the entire week while we were in Corvallis and when we were in Portland, everybody is really fucking nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are letting you just go ahead to cross the street, even if you're jaywalking.
Nice.
Like, everyone is very, very nice. So
It strikes me as like a hippie part of the country.
So, I mean, that's always the impression that I got.
Yeah.
Like, watching Portlandia,
Right.
I hated that show.
Yeah,
And
not a
I
fan.
understand that they were making fun of the people there.
Right.
But it made me so angry that I was like, I can't deal with these kind of people.
Yeah.
That I was already going into it thinking this is gonna suck. But again, everybody was like really fucking nice. Like, hands down. Everyone was
Sure.
really cool. Getting to Portland, there's a ton of fucking homeless everywhere.
Yikes.
There's a bunch of them screaming and yelling all over the place, and there's those fucking tents
yeah.
under bridges. I did see one with like some what do you call them? Like the what are like the crates? Oh, the pallets.
Uh-huh.
Someone made like a little wall of pallets around their tent, like it was a
Smart.
castle. So that was
Yeah,
pretty
like
neat.
a 10 city compound.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
just around there. It's like
Sure.
their own little castle.
Yeah.
Um.
Do
Yeah.
you think he's in there just looking at the other people like, yuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, those poor pieces of shit without even any pallets.
Yeah.
Gross.
We
I'd
checked.
never let it get that bad.
Yeah. At least I got
Yeah.
pallets.
What the fuck? My life might be in shambles, but I have walls. You people disgust me.
We checked out an Italian place. And by the way, there was a bunch of places there where you go in and they have the menus all up on the wall.
Uh-huh.
Then you walk up to which would assuming to be the hostess desk,
Uh-huh.
but they have the register there. You tell them what food and drinks that you want.
Uh-huh.
Then you go and grab your own silverware, napkins, anything extra toppings wise, then find a seat, then they bring you your food.
Okay.
And then you also have to bus your own fucking table.
Uh-huh.
When you're there paying for the food, they fucking flip that thing around being like, you want a tip?
Right.
And at the time, like, you don't really know what you're doing. Like, you're just like, oh, well, it's weird that we're tipping before any services happens.
Absolutely.
But we're like, here's 18%. We don't know what we're getting into. So that's a good little medium. But then we get outside, and because we sat in the patio, but we end up finding out we have to fucking bust our own tables. They literally we got a bowl of pasta to split and like a small little bottle of wine. And we had to bust our own things.
What happens if you don't? What happens if you just get up and leave?
They just have to do it.
Oh.
There's just a thing that says thank you. There's like a little thing on the end of the table where all the napkins are, and it just has a little sticker on there that says thank you for busting your table.
Wow.
So that's it.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, for the tipping part, it's crazy because you have to imagine everybody that works there has to make a decent wage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, it's not like you're a server. You're making fucking $4 an hour,
right?
And they're like, dude, I'm not gonna feed my family if you don't tip me. It's like they're probably making like $14 an hour, and they're like, hey, tips would be nice.
Yeah.
So if you leave a couple bucks, that's awesome. But I'm not tipping you 20% if I have to get my silverware and my toppings and find my own table and then clean up after myself. Go fuck yourself. Like,
the
whole reason I tip is so I can be a goddamn slob.
Well, that's the whole point, right? They're serving you, right? They're bringing you everything,
especially
cleaning up.
And you have to go through the menu yourself. It's not like somebody came over and said, "Hey, welcome. Let me run you through the specials and let me tell you my favorite things." And what kind of food do you like? Then you'll probably enjoy this dish. Like that's why a server has value.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you go into a restaurant and your server's like, "What do you want?"
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'm not really sure. And they're like, well, then I'll fucking come back later, I guess.
Yeah. Let me recommend this.
Right.
What do you
talk
like?
To you about something.
Yeah.
Let me see if you want a tour through the menu. Yeah. Like, that's what you're supposed to do.
And in the pasta dish we got too, we got their vodka sauce with their fusilli.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fucking so undercooked. Oh, here's the big thing about this place. We went there because they make their noodles. All of it. So they have people that are right there that are homemaking noodles, right? They homemade their own noodles and undercooked it so bad.
That's amazing.
Like, is nobody fucking tasting anything back there? Like,
probably not.
The sauce was good.
Yeah.
But it's like the noodles are just sticking in your fucking teeth. And they're like, this is even enjoyable.
Yeah, and if fusilli, can they even make that fresh? I mean, I know you can, but it's an extruded pasta, so I don't want to get into the culinary side of it. But that's something I think you kind of have to dry. But anyway, fresh pasta takes fucking 3 minutes to cook. I just watched you do it 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So you know how fast it fucking cooks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
why
bummer.
That's why I made my own vodka sauce today because I was so upset. Like I didn't have anything good. Like those slices of pizza were cool. There was a little place across the street from the hotel.
Yeah.
And we split a burger that was like fucking delicious. But also the hotel. Let me get into this.
Please.
When we're down in Portland, right? The place is called the Moxie.
That sounds fancy.
Bright pink fucking sign. You walk in, it's like a fucking dance club. The music's fucking loud. The bar's right there, and the people that are checking you in are right. They're all sharing in the same counters as the bar, basically. Yeah, it was already like a headache trying to get in, and so like we were in the elevator. I'm like, all right, the walls are all painted black. This all looks pretty cool. This is neat, like a modern hotel.
That's how it sounds, modern.
And we check it, or like we get into like our room, and it's literally, here's the bathroom, like literally to your left, and then there's just a bed. That's it. That's it. There's nothing. And then our walls didn't even go all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
The ceiling, you could still see the concrete pad, and you could hear everybody that's talking in the next room, as well as the elevator making scraping sounds up and down all day or all night long.
Well, that's awful, but you're probably like myself and Jen, where you're like, listen, we're only going to be here to sleep, so we don't really give that much of a shit. But that's how we started anyway, the few times that we've had shitty hotels. And then it's like an hour and a half later, Jen's like, I'm going to be partial owner of this hotel after I complain about it. It's pretty much how it usually goes.
Listen, don't get me wrong. They did have a noise cancellation machine on the wall. So
what
it's
the
like,
fuck is that?
No, listen. Let me explain.
Okay.
There's a sticker on it that says, "Here's a noise cancellation machine to help drown out the busy sounds of the city."
Mm-hmm.
We didn't hear a fucking thing from outside that window. We were 10 floors up. No cars, no beeps, no screaming hobos, nothing. Everything we heard was the people next door and the elevator, which I think that's what they really meant to say, but
it's not well
couldn't fit it all on one sticker.
Did you cover it up with one of our stickers?
No.
That's what you should have done, is done right where it said noise canceling machine. You should have stuck one of our stickers right underneath it.
That's a great idea, but it's like then you're going to charge us extra for the room, right?
That's true.
And speaking of...
You're not going to get your deposit back.
Yeah.
If you leave a pizza bagel sticker under where it says noise cancellation.
However, Jess did have a good idea. We did put a small one on the side of like the little thing that controls like the AC and like the temperature of the room.
Smart.
We did put one on the side that you're only going to see if you're laying in the bed. So
like it.
And speaking of stickers, guys, we got a bunch of QR code stickers.
We sure did.
And Jess and I basically plopped them all over airport bathrooms in Chicago, Portland, Denver, Cleveland, as well as all like the bar bathrooms and shit that we all went to.
We're going nationwide, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going to Ireland in a couple weeks. So
hell yeah, going international. Fuck yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The people, again, they're so nice, but Jess was like, it's almost like aliens, remember they're talking about like, oh, aliens are real, right? In the media.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like that they just took over Portland. Like most of the people there, and they're like, well, I think this is how people are supposed to act, right?
Sure.
Like we went to a place and I was like, okay, well, this pasta sounds good. I'm going to try this. Retry the pasta.
Mm-hmm.
And the server comes over and I was like, hey, bud, I was like, can I get some like parm and some red pepper flakes? And he like stares at me and he's like, red pepper flakes? And I was like
he'd never heard those three words in that order before.
Yeah, I was like, red pepper flakes and parm. And he's like, yes, we do have red pepper flakes.
Yes.
But they're in the basement. I'll have to go get them.
That's
and I was like,
so weird.
And I go, no. Okay, listen, you don't have to go down into a basement to get red pepper flakes. I'm fine. He goes, it's okay. I'm not doing anything at the moment. Mm-hmm. I'll go get your red pepper flakes. I was like,
already communicated with my teammate who will be with your red pepper flakes presently.
It's almost like they're trying to sort it out, and they're like, red pepper flakes. And it's like, mothership.
Right.
What is red pepper flakes?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
What do I do?
And then like Jess says, it's like in Men in Black where it's like the little aliens inside like humans' bodies, like up in their heads. And there's someone in there like trying to hurry up and search in like a human dictionary, like, oh, red pepper flakes. Like, oh, it's a seasoning. Go get it. It looks like this.
Yeah. That's one of the things I miss the most about pizza in New York. Couple things. First of all, I don't even know. I don't remember if we've talked about this or not, but why you can't just get a slice of pizza in Lakewood is fucking beyond me.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that not a thing? And for whatever, all right, so the only reason that it possibly makes sense is because there's not a lot of good parking. Like people just kind of park in one place and then walk around. So it's not like there's a place just, where people are walking down the sidewalk all the time and stop in and get a slice. But then why isn't there a food truck that just goes around Lakewood and stops at like popular locations at night and sells slices of pizza?
Okay.
Like imagine if you were at fucking a bar, the Richland, a bar that doesn't serve food, and a pizza truck pulled up outside that was like, hey, $5 slices.
So, which is a great idea. And actually, that little, like in the next block over, that's been like 30 different pizza shops and like the smoking time or whatever.
Yeah, it's Grey House now.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of places there that would do by the slice. They just don't last.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I mean, if the pizza's just mediocre or it could be parking. And yes, you are right with that, but it's location.
Agreed.
If you were to take Dewey's out of the fucking thing, and I've talked about this years ago, someone's going to probably fucking take my idea, but I wanted to move into fucking Dewey's and just call it by the slice.
Yeah, that's smart.
And then all the fucking people from like around the corner, Harry Buffalo, Kenilworth, Riverwood, and you stay open till late. And just walk there and just get your slice till fucking 4 a.m. and then fuck off.
You do like, what's the place in Tremont? Like Edwin's or
not
Edwin's, we were just talking about that place. You know what I'm talking about though.
Yeah, Edison's.
Edison's, and then there was Crust. Like those places were doing by the slice, and of course it's Tremont, so everybody just walks in
everywhere.
Tremont anyway.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and what you were talking about that made me think of it in New York was Every pizza place in New York sells by the slice. And whenever you go, there's almost no seating. It's always like countertop areas where you just kind of hover over it.
Yeah.
But every counter is just absolutely littered with parm in jars, red pepper flakes in jars, and fucking fresh oregano.
Yeah.
And those are the 3 perfect things to put on your slice.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have that anywhere.
No,
it fucking
they
makes
don't.
me so sad.
Anytime that there was a by the slice, and it wasn't by the slice, it was just a pizza shop that would have some slices.
What the fuck?
But they never lasted. And it was always typically that one spot by the Rich, too.
Yeah, that's such a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
We got to figure out how to make that something that we can take care of.
There's gotta be that Dewey's location is way too big,
and it's got to be. Yeah, you're right.
That's way too big. No. It needs to be the size of like
that Gray House place. It's fucking tiny that has 4 2-tops in it.
Yeah, that's perfect. But it's just you need to be at the right location.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that small is perfect. Just a couple of tables.
Yeah.
That's it. Then it can get it done.
I should start telling people that the Richland is going to start making their own pizzas.
Do it.
I will. Fuck you, Rob. I did it before. Were you around for that when I told everybody that the Richland was turning into a sandwich shop / bar?
No.
Oh my God, Rob got so pissed. I told everybody for a long time, and then I made a Facebook page for the Richland about how they were going to half of the bar was going to become a sandwich shop. And I was posting updates about the prosciutto that were hanging downstairs and how they were drying and they're going to be ready in 3 months and amazing. And I was at the bar one time and Rob, the owner, was like, "Hey, can I talk to you outside for a second?" I'm like, "Sure." And we're buds, so it's not like I thought I'm in trouble. The principal's asking me to come to the office or anything. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Could you do me a quick favor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, anything, man. What can I do for you?" And he's like, "You stop telling people we're going to sell fucking sandwiches." He goes, "We got 5 phone calls today asking about if the prosciuttos are ready, and it's really annoying." He's like, "People are like, yeah, I heard they're hanging in the basement." He's like, "Have you been in the basement?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been in the basement." He's like, "It's disgusting." And I'm like, "I fucking know." He's like, "You can't tell people that we're hanging prosciuttos." I'm like, "The fucking health department's going to show up and shut me down for a sandwich shop that you made up." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll stop." And I had to shut down the Facebook page, and it would turn into a whole thing. Hanging prosciuttos in the basement at the Rich.
I'll cheers to that.
Cheers, buddy.
Solid. Yeah, I don't know. Portland was, overall. The strip clubs were sweet, though.
Oh, yeah?
They're full nude. So you get to see vagina and buttholes.
Cool.
Instead of just like Cleveland, it's just boobs. That's it.
I haven't been to a strip club in a long time, and I don't think I'll ever go again.
I mean, I'm not a strip club guy.
Yeah, me either.
I took Jess to Lido Lounge for her first time a few weeks back because, Coley texted me that he was up there.
Of course.
And I was like, "You're up there right now?" And he's like, "Yeah." And we're like, "Okay, we'll come up there."
You're like, "It's 3:00 in the afternoon on a Thursday, Coley."
It was more of 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night. Sure. And it's like, I should be going to bed, but Jess needs to experience this place.
Sure.
So we figured when we heard that there were strip clubs that were going to be weird in Portland, so we're like, well, let's go. And I mean, they were fun.
Sure.
It's seeing vaginas and buttholes makes it a little more better than just boobs.
Yeah.
And we do love boobs.
I got strip clubs out of my system when I lived in Florida. There was a strip club right down the street from me when I lived in North Miami Beach called Tootsie's Cabaret. And it was the shittiest strip club in the world. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, if you're going to go to strip clubs, you should only go to the best or the absolute worst.
Oh, 100%.
Medium strip
Nothing in the middle. Yeah, there's no reason to. Yeah.
No gray area strip club. But Tootsie's was, I mean, it wasn't a shithole. It was just it was way outside of, it wasn't Miami. It wasn't Fort Lauderdale. It was in between. And what was great about it was they did industry night, and it was Sunday through Thursday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you worked in a bar, a restaurant, a nightclub, or a strip club, you could just show a pay stub. They would give you your own Tootsie's Cabaret ID that would get you to the front of the line. You didn't have to pay cover, and drinks were $2.50 at the bar.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was in fucking South Florida. So, I'd get out of work, and people were like, "Hey, we're going to go over to the ale house and have a beer." And I'm like, "You guys are idiots. Beer's there $6. And they're like, "Where are you going?"
Go to Tootsie's.
I'm going to fucking Tootsie's. And they're like, "Wow, dude, you fucking love the strip club." And I'm like, "No, I don't. I like getting drunk for $2.50 a drink."
Yeah.
And I would go there all the time, and I would walk in, and the bouncer's like, "What's up, Dave?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And just walk right past them. And I'd go and I would sit at the bar, and there was always normal bartenders there, and then they always were showing super aggressive porn on all the TVs. Wow. And I'd be the one "Hey, can you put fucking Sports Center on one. Can I watch sports on one TV? And they would turn that on, and then like a stripper would walk over, and she'd be like, "Hey, Dave," and I'm like, "Hi, Cinnamon." And then some other new girl walks up, and she's like, "Hey, baby, you want to dance?" Cinnamon's like, "Dave doesn't take dances," and I'm like, "That's right, because I'm not here for tits and ass right now. I'm here for cheap drinks and to watch Sports Center." And that's all I would do is just get drunk there for cheap. But I just don't like it. I don't know. Something about strip clubs really gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Listen, I mean, I don't pay for dances. I don't want that. I don't want you grinding on my lap for $20
for 3 minutes.
Yeah, for what?
So I can have a boner.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
Stupid. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Although one time when I was at Tootsie's, they were selling private room dances, and they were offering all of the they kept on offering more and more free stuff. And all these chicks came out, and they were all dressed like cops. Like, that was the theme for the night, is like all the dancers are law enforcement. And then everything they were selling was like SWAT. So it was like, they were like, "Hey, if you want a free SWAT t-shirt, just get a $20 dance from this." And I'm like, I felt like the person announcing was talking to me, and I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, what about if we also gave you a digital watch that says SWAT?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Well, what about if we also gave you a SWAT hat?" And I'm like, "Let me get this straight. T-shirt, watch, and a hat for $20, and she's gonna rub her pussy on me for 3 minutes?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, $18 out the door. And they're like, "Sold." This guy to the back room. And I'm like, "All right, that's fair." And the whole time I'm just like, "Where's that watch?" She's dancing. I'm like, let me see the fucking
Can we hear this up? I want to take a look at this watch.
Exactly. I want to make sure it works before I leave. I'm not getting fucking gypped into some broken electronic shitty SWAT watch. But yeah, I went home, and my roommate's like, and I'm just wearing all SWAT gear and drunk. And he's like, "Where'd you go?" And I'm like, "Tootsie's was having a special." And he's like, "I'm looking like a fucking douchebag cop, huh?" And I'm like, Yeah, sorry. And that's what I did. Tootsie's.
See, if I would go to a strip club, I want like weird stuff to happen.
Absolutely.
You know, like my buddies told me in Philly that there's a place called Show and Tell. And when I was in Philly, I never got to go because everyone I was with was a bunch of boners. But I was told that, like, when they were like standing in line paying admission, like, there was a girl on stage fisting her own asshole.
Wow.
Like, that's to be like, okay, that's what I want to see live in person at a strip club. I will throw money for that.
Sure.
Okay. There was like another girl shooting ping pong balls out of her vagina.
Yeah.
They give you like little raincoats if you sit in the first couple rows because the splash zone.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because there's a girl squirting or pissing all over the people like in those first couple rows.
Yeah.
That's the kind of strip club I want to go to.
Yeah. I would get down with that. Yeah, if it was super weird, I would go.
Yeah. Weird stuff.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of a hook to it. I just don't want to watch sad women dance nude.
It's just topless, just dancing to fucking Cherry Pie.
Yeah, I was going to say Buck Cherry. I thought we were going to say this.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, Buck Cherry too. That's a fucking stripper anthem. But still, you got fucking Warren or Buck Cherry or Motley Crue. Right. Girls. Those are your three three choices of songs. They're
crazy, bitch, and they're all just like fucking wiggling their tits around a little bit.
Yeah.
That sounds so sad. Yeah. All right, what would be the worst strip club songs? Lollipop Guild. That's where my brain went.
I was thinking
represent the lollipop. Yeah, I'd be like, or like Julie Andrews be fucking. 'Cause a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. She's just like showing you her butthole. Like, nope. Kind of. Well, yeah, kind of looking into that. Yeah, that's true.
What about Eiffel 65? The blue
song.
Rose,
I don't know. That's got kind of a.
I guess it does have a dancey beat. Yeah. Okay, how about this? What about Joan Osborne?
Along to it?
I mean, that would be very impressive.
Yeah.
What about Joan Osborne? If God was one of us.
Ooh, yeah. Any song referencing God like that is not good.
It's slow. It's talking
about
God. It's...
Right. Just a slob like one. And that is so fucking depressing.
Trying to think what else would be really shitty.
Yeah. I mean, R.I.P. Sinead O'Connor, but any Sinead O'Connor song would be fucking awful.
Or what about the song with the TV commercial with all the dogs dying?
Oh, Sarah McLachlan?
Yeah.
Oh, awful. My sad boner. Yeah.
In the
eyes of an angel.
Yeah. It's like first like Girls is like playing, you got a boner, and then she's like, sometimes dancers do more than one song.
Sure.
But then it clicks over to that song, and you're like, okay.
It'd be even better if they brought out if they were like, and hey, new to the stage. They're like, here's Mercedes. And then it's just like, in the arms of an angel. And you'd be like, ugh, fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna get so hard to this song for you.
That's all. Every time that song would ever come on, or any of those songs, that's all I would be able to think about. Is just sad stripping.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It all gets really sad. I just don't want to go to strip clubs anymore. I also, and it's, I mean, fine, you can say it's partial Judaism or not, but I'm also not paying for that shit. I'm not paying covers like that. I'm not paying for dances. I'm not paying real money for drinks that are shitty and watered down. And I'm also not going to a bathroom where some dude is standing there to dry my fucking hands, give me a mint and a shot of aqua velva on my neck when I leave. Like, that's the weirdest thing ever.
Those are only in the good places.
Yeah, or the really bad ones.
Do they? I don't know. I've been to some like really shitty ones, and that guy has never been in there.
Let me tell you,
and instead of aqua velva, it's like Michael Jordan cologne from 1993, and it's like a shot at Hennessy.
I went to a strip club in Florida, and it was like the world's shittiest strip club. Not in a good way, not in a fun, haha, this place is awful. Like I'm probably going to get stabbed and a staph infection in this place. Mm-hmm. But I went into the bathroom, and I was dying laughing because there was not the bathroom butler in there, but there was a like candy dish of butterscotch candies instead of the guy handing out mints. It
like
was
the Werthers?
Like Werthers, but like knockoff Werthers, like shitty, old, melty Werthers. I agree, but these were like shitty and obviously at least 20 years old. And instead of having a person there who's like got the towel out to dry your hands or paper towels like a normal place would have, it had that old school like spool of cloth. Like one spool of cloth that would go around.
That's just
and
you would just of fucking germs.
Dry your hands on it and then spin the wheel and it would go up and like sanitize itself.
No,
but it didn't. Yeah, like it magically cleans itself. No. Like people just take their jerk-offy fingers, their fucking dick bangers, and rub them all over this. Then they take their spermy hands all over the wheel. And then I'm supposed to like splash a little water in my face and dry my face off like on this spool. Get the fuck out of here! I'm gonna go home with herpes in my eyes. Yeah, like I don't know. I just went to the strip club.
I don't know why places have those still. There's awful. A fucking bar in Lakewood, which I fucking hate this bar, but they have one of those.
Really?
I'm like, why?
Why?
Why do you still have that?
How is that even possible? Like, the health department has nothing to say about that.
No, and also when you walk into the bathroom, the guy's bathroom, it's like a mini hallway, and there's a urinal right at the end of it.
Uh-huh.
And then if you want to use the toilet, it's literally right to the right of the person. You can't even squeeze through. You have to like tap on the shoulder and be like, excuse me, and they have to like completely step all the way to the left while pissing in order to get in there, or you fucking wait for the guy. But here's the deal. If you are pissing in the toilet and the guy comes in, is using the urinal behind you, your back's to him, so you guys aren't looking at each other's dicks.
Right.
But if the guy in the urinal finishes first and wants to wash his hands, well, here's the deal. The sink is now next to the person that's using the pissing in the toilet, and the hand dryer is on the wall above the toilet.
That's amazing.
And it's one of those really shitty, like, you push the button, the vent is pointing right at your face. Like, it's the most piece of shit.
That's amazing. We went to a place in Avon, Jen and myself, and we knew it was going to be a dive bar. That's why we went there. We love dive bars. But I went to the bathroom there, and it was just like that. It was, first of all, when you walk in, it's got urinals, like, in this hallway, this long hallway. They're immediately to your left, and they go from, like, your shoulders to the floor. Like, the drain is on the floor.
Okay.
When's the last time you saw a urinal that goes to the fucking floor?
The closest thing is at around the corner.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
That downstairs, their downstairs bathroom, it's like basically a wall trough. But the bottom of it is literally like 3 to 4 inches off the ground.
Okay, this thing was not off the ground. It's like built into the ground.
Yeah.
So
it might first as well
of all,
have been
gross. And so I go in there and I'm like laughing about how disgusting this place is, and I'm like, gross. And I take my piss, and then I go over and I wash my hands, and then I'm shaking my hands off, and I'm looking for the paper towel thing, and it's nowhere to be found. And I'm looking around, and it's nowhere. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. Because there's only one bathroom stall in this bathroom. And I go to open the door, and someone's like, and I'm like, okay, I get you're in there. Like, you don't have to at me. Like, you're fucking fine. The door's locked, asshole. I get it. And then I walk out with my hands up like I'm getting prepped for fucking surgery. And I'm just standing out there, and Jen's like, what? And I'm like, there's no fucking paper towels in there. Like, how do I dry my fucking hands?
Yeah.
And then this guy just walks out, And I'm like, I have to know. And I walk in there and I open the door to the stall, and the sink is in there.
Oh, for real?
There's one sink in the whole place, and it's in the shitter.
Oh
so if
God.
you piss in the urinal and someone's taking a dump, you're just fucked. You're just out of luck. I'm just like, and like I said, I walked out there with my fucking wrists up in the air, like,
yep.
I guess I'll just wait until this dude's done taking a shit. And by the way, I heard that dude flush and then just walk out. He didn't. I didn't hear anything.
Didn't even bother using the sink.
No, he didn't use the sink. First of all, he would have. Yeah, and I was just so disappointed, like, because the sinks were outside, but the thing to dry your hand was inside the fucking shitter.
Yeah. What a fucking shitty
so
setup.
Dumb. Yeah, and what an easy fix. Like, you can put the paper towel dispenser outside. Like, I could do that with 4 screws in 3 minutes. I could fix that right now, and I'm not handy at all. But what the fuck?
Yeah.
But the drinks were cheap, and the bartender was smoking hot, so it was fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'll take it. They also had, like, this place, they have a flat top. It's, like, literally 18 inches wide and 12 inches deep. And that's it. That's their entire cooking system. And it was like they have hot dogs, jumbo hot dogs, burgers, and Jen's there, and she's just laughing, and she's like, "Do you think they have a fresh catch of the day?" I'm like, "Would you fuck off, please?" Like, I was just dying.
It's called herpes.
Yeah, exactly. It's craps.
You get it in the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. But those places are great for the most part. I do love a cheap, shitty dive bar.
I do too. I mean, I really do. As long as it actually lives up to being its like shittiness,
for sure,
and not just being like, yeah, we're a shitty dive bar, and then we were charging $19 for fucking 2 drinks. Yeah.
When we were in Chicago for the first time, I went on Yelp and I typed in best dive bar close to me, and it pulled up this place. I don't remember what it was called, but we were walking down the street. It was right by our hotel, and we walk in, and the place is really dark, which is a good sign. They have electronic dartboards, which is a great sign.
Well, it's definitely divey.
And the jukebox has CDs in it.
Love it.
I'm like, this is fucking perfect. The bartender comes out. It's this dude. He's wearing all like an orange jumpsuit with numbers on it. So he's like trying to look like he just got out of prison. Mm-hmm. He's got gray hair down to the middle of his back, like long, fluffy gray hair. All of his fingernails are painted different colors. And I go, "Hey, what's your name?" And he goes, "No." And I'm like, "Great. What's the deal here?" And he goes, "Everything's $5." And I go, "Everything?" And he goes, "Everything's $5." I'm like, "Beers and shots and whatever?" And he goes, "Yeah, and everything." I'm like, "Oh, do you guys have food?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Holy fuck, this place sounds awesome." So we start drinking shots of Jameson for $5, which in Chicago is cheap as shit. Yeah. But we walked down the street, every other bar we went to, shots of Jameson, $9.
Yeah.
$10.
Oh, yeah.
$11. We left. We went to 3 other bars just to check them out, and then we went right back to that place and had that felon serve us, and it was awesome.
Yeah. And once you find one of those places too, you're like, I'm gonna be spending my entire weekend here.
That's exactly what we did. All we did was we just went out to restaurants, and then I was like, "Hey, you want to go get drunk? How about for not $1,000?" And she's like, "Yeah, let's go have that fucking weirdo serve us." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go find out what everything is."
Oh yeah, including the handies and
obvious
finger popping each other's assholes.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen, when we were in New Orleans, same deal. We found a bar called the Abbey. I don't know if Garrett took you there when you guys were out there.
Garrett didn't take us anywhere, by the way. We took Garrett.
Well, that's okay. So
let's be honest here.
I would at least would have thought he would have suggested it, but it is tiny. It's dark. Jukebox got CDs.
Nice.
And it was like the same deal. It's like you can get a PBR and a Jameson, $5.
Love it.
And that was a bar that we spent more time in than like other places. I mean, we checked out other places, but we kept going back to the Abbey.
There was a place downtown. It was on Ontario, and it was like right across from the Jack Casino, but before the casino went in. I have no idea if it's still there. And it was an absolute shithole, but all the servers had to wear like long sleeve white button down shirts and like black bow ties. It was extraordinarily cheap. They had like $3 like beast beers that were 30-ounce beers.
Well,
so it was cheap as fuck. And they had, like, if you wanted to use the bathroom, they would give you the key that was attached to like a fucking like a bike, fucking like a tire you'd have to take with you,
like an old shitty gas station.
Yeah, exactly. But they also had that one piece of cloth going around in a circle in the restroom to dry your hands with. And I was like, this place is a shithole. And I went there with my buddy Tim on St. Patrick's Day in the morning. And it was a rough crowd. Like, it was a bunch of angry people. They're all wearing bibs. Like, they're all, like, construction people working outside, all white, all, like, prison tattoos. And I'm like, this place is fucking terrifying, and we should leave. and they had the jukebox with all CDs. So right before we left, Tim put like $6 in the jukebox and played nothing but Boys to Men.
Oh my God.
And then he was like, we should probably go. And I'm like, why? I'm like, I was going to finish my 30-ounce fucking beaster, and then I hear like, I'll Make Love to You come on the jukebox, and everybody's head starts spinning, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. That's a great idea. Like, let's get the fuck out of here before we get murdered.
It's in there for profiling purposes.
Exactly, right.
They also have Pet Shop Boys and Seal.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I do miss those divies. I feel like that they're just not around really anymore.
No.
And when you do find them, it's a real fucking gem.
Yeah, they're gems.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, where's a good dive bar?
Like around here?
Yeah. I mean, the Richland's not a dive. I mean, it's not a good bar. It's not a dive bar, though.
Kind of.
I guess.
I guess. I mean, it's better than a dive bar.
A little.
But the prices are still pretty cheap, though, I think, for the most part.
It is cheap, but it's not like shitty, like super shitty. Like, they have like new TVs in there.
Well, they changed it because it used to be a real shitty dive bar.
Right.
But until they fucking painted the whole place, switched sides, redid the bathrooms.
Stopped selling sandwiches.
Yeah.
Assholes.
No more prosciutto.
No more prosciutto.
Yeah.
They were just going to hit their prime, too. Thanks a lot, Rob. Screwed out of that delicious sandwich I told everybody about.
Yeah, I don't know. And don't get me wrong, there's like a lot of like favorite locals I like to go to.
Same.
But I don't know. I mean, do you think
Terrymore?
five? Do you think five?
I don't know. I guess.
I mean, I guess Terrymore is okay. So Terrymore,
it's cash only.
It's cash only, but it's also only like the weird old folks that hangs out there.
It is
a lot of
it's
a very daytimer old folks bar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like Spitfire would have been more a dive bar.
Sure.
But even Funhouse isn't a dive bar.
No, it's definitely like
super
cool.
fun, cheap bar.
Yeah.
But not a dive bar.
Right. And I don't know, are we judging on like what a dive bar should be? I feel like that there's these things going around all the time every year. Vote the best dive bar in Cleveland. And then, let's say like Funhouse makes it in top 5.
Yeah,
I don't consider it a dive bar.
No. I'd call like the Old Angle a dive bar more than I would call the Funhouse a dive bar. But the Old Angle's like an institution. It's not really a dive bar.
It's also, it's not like dirty or anything inside. I mean, it's...
No.
I don't know.
Maybe the era of the dive bar is just over.
What about ABC?
I haven't been there in a long time, but...
It hasn't changed. It's still like really dark. A pool table that doesn't really work. It's super cheap drinks. They got one of those like those bar bowling machines in there.
I do like those.
And then like when you're hanging out on the front patio or back patio trying to have a cigarette, you get all like the like hobos and trash people asking for money or cigarettes or whatever. Does that count?
I guess. I don't know. I guess the Spitfire was the last local dive I remember. Because that was a place where you'd go get a super cheap beer, you'd watch a fun fight break out, and then you'd go laugh about it with a bunch of degenerates sitting on the picnic tables outside getting stoned.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool back when you could get like black labels for like $1.50.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I heard that.
I wonder if that picked up.
I hope so. I hope it fucking echoed into my microphone.
I hope so. If you guys heard that, I did not fart.
All right, well, we're at 55. So, what do you think?
Well, I mean, that's basically kind of all I have.
Yeah.
Although that fart I just ripped, the fart I did not just rip.
Right.
It does remind me, I'm going to just give you this one last Portland thing, because I kind of forgot about this.
Portland farts? They probably sound like this. I would guess from the way you described the food anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. We, at the hotel we were staying in like the college town, we'd go like to like the back of the building. There's a little ashtray to have a smoke. And there was like a little wooden fence that kind of was like a back patio, but I think it was more for like staff to kind of like have like their breaks, and there's like trash cans and whatnots. And Jess and I were out there having a smoke, and we were just like caught up with like, we were with one of her coworkers and just basically holding in these farts. And we got back, and we were sitting in the back there having a cigarette, just ripping farts, just both of us, just loud,
fun,
Rambo farts. And I just so happened to glance over, and I see this like an older lady that's like one of like the hotels like cleaning staff. Yeah. And just sitting back there on her phone smoking a cigarette, and we had no idea until we looked back.
Fucking cannonballing farts the whole time.
Oh my god, we were fucking dying laughing because that lady had probably had to be there going, "What the fuck is wrong with these two?"
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you follow it, but on and I think you do because I know I've sent 1,000 of them to you. But on TikTok, I think it's called Stairwell Farts.
Oh yeah, I've seen
so fucking good,
super funny.
And then also, let's get a little political here, which we never do. In the news the other day, and I don't think it was in Ohio, but a woman just set a new record for loudest belch of a female, like a Guinness World Record, at like 114 decibels, which is the sound of a subway going by when you're in a subway station.
And did they record this in an echoed room?
They record. It has to be in a 0 decibel. It's astringent. It's like it has to be a 0 decibel room, and I think it said the microphone has to be 8 feet 2 inches away from her mouth.
Whoa, that's a huge distance to rip that.
She ripped it. It was awesome. I mean, I didn't even listen to the one that she recorded because I can't. You can't really hear like the volume of it in that quiet room. I have no idea, but she showed a bunch of videos of her like just regular life, just belching it out. And she was like, yeah, all my friends were like, wow, that's really loud. And it would be her in a bar, and she would just like cannonball half of a big beer, and then she would like close her eyes like she was concentrating really hard, and then she would just blast out a burp. And you would see people that were like 20 feet away that were startled by the sound of it.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck is that?
Like, Jesus Christ, like that. And it was fucking impressive. Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah. Okay, well, you said we're getting at that hour time.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be stopping.
We should. We're supposed to be stopping at an hour.
I think it's what people do.
I know. But it's hard for us, though.
You want to play a game?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see here. I jotted a few down.
Okay.
Okay. We still have the hat with the celebrities in it.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So, actually here, I'm going to have you pick first. That's what we usually do. I know it's been a minute.
Sure.
Let me just make sure this is the... Okay, yes.
The
this
celebrity
is
pile.
still the celebrity hat.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to shake this down and around a little bit.
Sure.
I'm going to hand it over to you.
How many picks are we making here?
Just do 3. Just the norm, So just pull 3 out of there.
Can do.
And then I'll give you... Oh, you just dropped one.
I saw.
Oh, you dropped 2. Oh, you're dropping more.
I dropped all of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then you can either pick any of those.
And
there's one also here behind...
2.
And right behind... Yep, right
and
there.
3.
Okay. Just going with those?
I'm going with those.
Okay.
I don't see why not.
All right. So, read us off, and what do you got here?
All right. I have Andy Samberg.
Okay.
Hilarious, by the way. Big fan.
Mm-hmm.
My sweet baby angel, Norm Macdonald.
Oh, nice.
Huge fan. And Jim Carrey.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
all right,
this is
3
dudes.
Good.
This is interesting.
3 hilariously different dudes.
Yeah. So, this is going to be the rom-com game.
Okay.
So we're going to be basically taking the recipe for a rom-com movie.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So one of these 3 is going to be your love interest. And maybe give us something why you would pick that as your love interest.
Okay.
It could be one of their movies. It could be a line or whatever interview. The second one is going to be your best friend that was,
okay.
That's your best friend through the journey.
Sure.
Also probably had a crush on that one that you stole.
Okay.
And then the last person is the bad guy, right? That's basically that shows up and exposes, that you are being a piece of shit, and then you have to kind of come to realization, apologize, and then you get to be with that person forever, right? You know the recipe here.
I got it. And this is also very, very easy for me. Do you need a minute to think about this, or?
Yeah.
Right.
Let me see here.
Oh man, this is super easy for me. I love, and while you're thinking about it, I fucking love when I have clips of Norm Macdonald show up in my reels, like on Facebook and shit like that, with him doing interviews with absolutely anybody. because he's such a maniac, and he talks about anything he wants other than what he's supposed to talk about. He pisses off all of the hosts, and he was like sober that whole time. That he was his funniest. He was never fucked up. He was just like internally fucked up. I always loved it. Like when he went on Conan and he was supposed to be plugging one of his movies, and he told the joke about the moth that went into the dentist's office. Do you remember that? And he took the whole fucking time.
I think so.
And he's telling this joke about the moth that went into the doctor's office, and the moth is telling the doctor like about this whole plight of his life and about how his moth wife has been cheating on him and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the long and short, and he takes like almost 12 minutes, and like 8 minutes into it, Conan's like, dude, first of all, we need to go to a commercial, and second of all, aren't you supposed to be plugging a movie? And Norm's like, yeah, I'll get to that in a minute, which he never does. And the very end of it is the dentist says, well, shouldn't you have gone to a psychiatrist's office? This is a dentist's office. Why'd you come in here? And Norm says, and the moth says, the light was on.
Oh, yeah.
And then Conan's just like, God fucking damn it. All right. He's like, we're out of goddamn time. I don't know why I have you on this show. It doesn't make any sense. Bye.
That's
and
amazing.
It was awesome.
Like 11 minute,
like
11 and a half minute joke.
Nonsense joke.
Just to be like, oh, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, by the way,
the light was on.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, all right, see Norm in this movie that comes out when? And Norm's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And then Conan's like, whatever. What the fuck? Why are you here?
Okay, I think I have my decisions.
All right. I feel like we're going to be the same.
Okay. All right. So give me your love interest first. And why?
All right.
So why would this person be your love interest and why?
I'm going to go love interest would be Jim Carrey.
Okay.
I think that he would be first of all, I think he's very intelligent. Not only being very funny, which he absolutely is, but I think he's also very intelligent. So when I think of a love interest, I'm not thinking purely like fucking, I'm thinking someone that I can have a conversation with. And I think he'd be very smart. Also, I got to meet Jim Carrey, and he was like the nicest guy. He came to Dave & Buster's when I worked there, and he tipped me $100 for opening his limousine door for him. And then he tipped every single employee that talked to him $100. The hostess, a busboy, every single person he talked to, he put $100 in their shirt pocket.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he was like the coolest, most down-to-earth, sweetest, nicest guy. So I feel like he would be tender, and like he would be a provider, and I feel like we could have a lot of conversation. So he would definitely be my rom-com love interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
do
right.
you want to do yours?
Okay. All right, so you want to change it
or
up?
do you want to go?
Normally
we go. Yeah, we go one person's three and then the other person's three.
Yeah,
or do you want to
go one and one?
Yeah,
one for one?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jim Carrey is also my love interest.
Of course.
I mean, because out of the three, Jim Carrey is what I found at a young age. I mean, like seeing Dumb and Dumber and Mask and Ace Ventura and all of these movies were like I remember watching Ace Ventura for the first time.
Sure.
You know, like Jim Carrey is just basically my entire life. Well, I mean, he's been down and out, but like so many fucking great movies.
Yeah.
Always there for a good laugh. And honestly, The Truman Show has got to be in my I don't even know where to place it, but top 10 for sure.
I love that movie.
Like that movie is so fucking good.
Yeah.
A possible top 5, but I'm gonna give it at least top 10.
I love that movie.
And I do think that hanging out with Jim Carrey would be a blast.
Yeah.
And it does seem like he was always been like a nice guy from all the stories. There's never any shit backlash, except for the whole wife suicide thing. But besides that, I think it would be a blast to fucking hang out with. And so if it's the love interest, that's the one you're wanting to hang out with all the time.
Absolutely.
So, yep, I'm also in Jim Carrey.
All right.
Okay, so you're the best friend that travels along the journey in order to meet the love interests and your day-to-day.
Definitely Norm.
Norm?
100% Norm. Norm would be the person I would get along. You know what? To be honest, when we only have 3 to pick from, when you pick the second one, it's also picking the third one, right? So this pick also makes the next pick. So this was very easy for me, first of all, because I would just love to be fucking friends with Norm Macdonald.
Sure, absolutely.
And to compete, because the best friend always ends up like a little bit vying for the same love interest in a way.
Well, that's where I was kind of going with.
Yeah, and that would be super fun to try and fuck off against Norm Macdonald would be super fun because he'd be corny and hilarious and endearing. I mean, I think if I was a chick, I think even though he's not, by any standard, a super good looking guy or anything, but I think, I don't know, his personality, I would be like, fuck, Norm might score this chick instead of me, which would make it fun and competitive. But I just think he'd be a great friend, and I just would love to hear his comedy all the time. So him as the best friend, and then also because for the bad guy, Andy Samberg, when he yells, when he gets that screechy, angry, and like energized Andy Samberg voice is his best.
Yeah.
When he's all hyped up, that is the best thing he does, and he would make a great bad guy. So that's my
could definitely see that.
Yeah. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, when he starts getting all hyped up, like that's his best shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah. You're going a different way?
I'm going the opposite.
Shit.
Yeah.
You're making Norm Macdonald the bad guy?
And I'm going to tell you why.
Oh
but first,
God.
I'm going to get to Andy Samberg.
Okay.
I think that Sandberg would be a hilarious best friend to have. I mean, creativity, like being like creative together, musically, comedy, fun to hang out with, the jokes back and forth. I mean, he's got also, again, so many fucking great movies. And that's why I think, he would be like the best friend.
Okay.
And if we are competing for the love interest, I think I'd be able to take it.
Do you think you got Sandberg?
I don't know. Maybe.
You're better
he's
looking
got
than
he's got more credit, like he's got street cred.
Sure.
So if it was on a fair playing field that no one knows who he is and we're on the same field,
you could take it.
I think I got a pretty good chance.
Sure.
Norm Macdonald.
Hold on. So real quick, you mean that you think that on a normal playing field, nobody knows who he is? You couldn't take Norm Macdonald?
Well, that's not why.
Okay.
I already chose. No. I chose Norm as the bad guy before.
Got it.
I got to Sandberg, and I was placing who would make the better bad guy, and in which way. I mean, Norm, his mannerisms, I think, are hilarious, and his punchline, his timing. So just to be like, oh no, like Norm's here, he's gonna try like taking my girlfriend from me. He's like, oh yeah, like
what's gonna happen now, guy?
Yeah, so here's what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take your girl, and then we're gonna kick your ass. Yep. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna kick your ass, and I'm gonna take your girl, and then we're gonna fuck off out of here.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna laugh about it while I'm inside of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his mannerisms, the punchlines, the timing, I think would make a very hysterical bad guy. That's never been done because no one has that Norm Macdonald mannerisms, I guess.
And no one's going to again, by the way.
No.
That'll never happen. That type of comedy is not going to happen again.
No. That's
such a shame.
Yeah.
But it can't happen again. And that's okay, I guess. It's a shame.
Better that it's not.
It is. The Norm Macdonald. He's so fucking funny.
Yeah. I think it's better that there's not going to be duplicates.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I've started to notice in more movies and shows, like you got people like Danny McBride, typecast, right?
Sure.
Every single movie he is in is always what the Danny McBride is.
Sure.
He's
Kenny fucking Powers in every
movie. Every movie
Tropic Thunder.
30 minutes or less.
Yeah,
this is the end.
It's the same
Hot Rod.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Oh my God, Hot Rod's such a good movie. Andy Samberg's so good.
Yeah. But then you have I've been noticing other guys and girl actresses have now been basically being a duplicate or a female version of Danny McBride. And it's like this has already been done and for so long, and I feel this way about Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler is trying to be the female version of Will Ferrell.
Sure.
I don't think it's funny. And not that's because she's a female. It's just like some people are just trying too hard to do what he's already been doing for 20 years.
Amy Poehler's involved in a lot of very funny stuff. And
she is.
I would, Jen read her book recently and said it was really good. And I would read her book. I bet it's really good. But I agree. She's involved in a lot of funny stuff, but she's not the funny thing for me in that stuff.
Yeah, but she's also teamed up with a lot of Tina Fey.
Yeah.
And Tina Fey is hilarious and a great writer, so it's like, is she the Robin to Tina Fey? You know what I mean? Like, and even in fucking Parks and Rec, I'm like, you are just being Will Ferrell.
Yeah. But I mean, that show, if I named my favorite characters, that show is great, by the way. Parks and Rec is great. I've loved that show for a long time. I've watched it. What's that?
I said, no, it's not.
Oh, it's not funny?
No, but go on.
Oh, it is. But it's not because of her. That show has the trait of all great shows for me, which is that your favorite character changes all the time. And for me, it's never been Amy Poehler. It's always Andy, or it's been Aubrey Plaza, or it's been fucking Nick Offerman, or it's been Aziz Ansari.
Right.
Like, it's such a great cast. Or Rob Lowe is great in it. Like, there's so many people in that show that are great, but she's the central point of it, and she's not the funny one.
Right. And again, I don't know if we've talked about this before. TV shows, I usually give it at least 3 episodes.
Yeah.
If you don't have me, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay. I tried a lot harder. I think I watched the first season and a half.
On Parks and Rec?
On Parks and Rec. I was really trying to, because there were some funny parts with Andy and Offerman and Aubrey Plaza. There was even bits when Aziz got in. Sometimes Aziz can be a little annoying, but there's a lot of times that he is still really funny.
He's supposed to be annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's typecast annoying.
But I just could not stick with it, and I think it's because of Amy Poehler as the lead, and it takes me out of all the funny shit.
Yeah, that's a bummer. It is a good show, and I understand that. That's one of those shows. It does definitely have a slow build and a slow burn, but it's worth it. It wraps up nicely too. It's like, I don't know, it was like a knockoff The Office. It just wasn't as good.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, no, you just got to get through the first 7 seasons, and then like the last 2 are good. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Bummer. And yeah, you're right. It is. Yeah, that same idea with like the cameras and everything. Office,
which is another fucking fabulous show.
Oh, fantastic.
So good.
I watched Office all the way back from Denver to Cleveland on the plane.
Nice. I'm getting I'm gonna sign back up for Peacock because I miss watching The Office, and I have to rewatch it.
Is it on Peacock?
I thought it was when I had it.
Oh, well, I mean, forever. It was on Netflix for like 10 years.
Yeah,
but
then I went to Peacock after.
Okay, because I thought it like switched over to the ones you had to pay for, like Paramount or.
Did you see the thing
else?
in the news about Rainn Wilson sitting on a plane next to a guy that watched The Office the whole flight and didn't realize that he was sitting right next to Rainn Wilson?
Even when he took his mask off?
Even when he took his fucking mask off. Can you imagine like watching Rainn Wilson be like, look at this dipshit, and being like, oh my God, I watched 6 hours of this fucking show right next to Dwight.
Yeah.
That's kick your own ass type stuff.
Oh my gosh, 100%. But I mean, if you watch The Office that much, like, how can you not recognize him? I mean, granted, he had like a big beard at the time, but I mean, like,
still,
come on.
Yeah.
Like, Rainn Wilson is one of those people that doesn't look like other people.
Exactly.
You know, doesn't have that celebrity doppelganger.
Horrible. Oh, he's such a great character.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well.
Okay. Well, let's do an exit cheers.
Let's do an exit cheers.
We'll do an exit jams and.
Fuck yeah! I love hearing that song. Cheers, buddy. Welcome back from Oregon.
We're Oregon.
Well, we're about to be Oregon, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But, yeah, we're out of here. Look for our stickers. We'll see you around town. We're going to play out, and we'll be back next week.
Okay.
All right.
Ready for this cheers, bub?
You know how much I love cheersing. Mm-hmm. Because I like bourbon.
All right, bud.
So here we go, kid.
Salud.
Love you so much. Cheers.
Pizza Bagels.